Welcome, and thanks for joining us today. I'm here with Jake Hansen. We're going to talk about a Blue River organic seed corn. Jake, could you advance the slide, please? So there's a picture of us in a soybean field, not a corn field. Jake Hansen is the corn and soybean product manager. He's been with us many years. Mac Ehrhardt have been with us many years as well in lots of different roles. And we're going to talk specifically today about, or in this section, we're going to talk about some Blue River corn from 82 to 90 day. So we've divided this up into sections so you don't have to sit through an hour-long presentation of all the hybrids we sell. And today we're just going to jump into the 82-day corn right away. So Jake, if you want to talk through 2482, and I'll chime in when I have a question or additional comment.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mac. Like Mac said, my name is Jake Hansen. I've been with the company now 15 years. Worked into this role as a corn and soybean product manager and kind of helped build this lineup that we're going to talk about today. First one being, like Mac said, is the 2482 at an 82 day. This is a really solid hybrid for us, I feel, on the early side because it's bringing a lot of health and a lot of robustness to the table. It's what's called a modified hybrid, which means it's actually a three-way cross, has three parents behind it, which really helped improve that early vigor, emergence, that late season plant health. But what it also does is it helps this hybrid still perform well as it comes south out of zone. You can plant this hybrid very easily into what I would call 95 to 100-day corn country as an early option or even a replant option if something like that comes up. So overall, this is just an outstanding hybrid for us. As we say here in that last bullet point, that medium to heavy soils is where it really stands out. But that doesn't mean it's not going to do well in lighter soils or droughty conditions as well. I think it has enough health and enough roots underneath it to take care of itself in those situations as well.
Great, thanks, Jake. And one thing I'd add is what we do try to call out the hybrids that move south well, because we know many organic farmers are planting corn a little bit south of the zone where it's normally planted, because they're intentionally planting 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later than their neighbors to make sure soil conditions are fitted for organic seed that doesn't have fungicides and insecticides on it. So yeah, next slide.
Up next, we have a pair of 85-day hybrids for you to consider. The first one has been a mainstay for us for a number of years now with the 5885. This is a hybrid that really needs to be planted in 85 to 90-day corn country. So further north from us here in southern Minnesota is where it's really going to shine. Does have a lot of ear flex. One other good quality of this one is the grain quality is exceptional. Very high test weight, very dense grain. As we note in that second bullet point, it is on the grain millers list of accepted food hybrids. So that is something to consider here as well. Western movement into dry land or into some droughty conditions is very good. It holds up quite well. My only fault on this hybrid is, well, two things actually. It dries a little slower because of that dense grain, but its ability to move south isn't as good as some hybrids around it. But it is still in zone, very nice hybrid. I wouldn't overlook it if you're looking for 85-day corn. Next up is a brand new hybrid for us called 4785. This is another early option. One thing that this kind of has an advantage of over the 5885 is when you get it into heavier to higher fertility soils, it's really going to take off in terms of yield. Really like to put on a lot of yield last year in our trials, but it still had exceptional drought tolerance. It still stood up really well in that 85-day corn country further north, but it improved on moving south as an 85-day. We're still learning about this hybrid, but as of right now, I don't have a lot of bad to say about it. But I'll be a lot more knowledge on this hybrid here on the upcoming months when I start getting into some more fields. But so far, I'm very excited to have a hybrid here that's going to perform well and maybe even a touch better than the 5885.
Thanks, Jake. The only thing I'd add here is I want to explain the badges here a little bit. I think some people who are familiar with Blue River corn know that we've been making purity guarantees for several years. And you can see, and a good example of that is the 5885, where we have that available in two versions. We have it available as an ultra pure hybrid, so that means that we guarantee that it's 99.9% GMO free. And we also have it available as a pure hybrid, and that means that it's guaranteed to be 99% GMO free. So be aware of what those badges mean. The ultra pure corn, if you want that, you have to ask for it. And it is a more expensive hybrid because we have to produce that corn under special conditions. I should also say, I'll take the time right here to say that we have another class of corn in organic called Select. And that is corn that we guarantee to be 98% free of GMO. We will not sell any organic corn if it doesn't meet our select criteria. So in other words, we won't sell any organic corn if it has more than 2% GMO in it. So thanks. Let's go to the next slide.
And one other thing I will point out real quick on this slide here is on that bottom right corner, those yield comparisons, those are coming directly from our own internal research trials that we conduct through third-party researchers all across the Dakotas, all the way out into the East Coast, New York, Pennsylvania. So this is the snapshot of yield information coming directly from our own independent research, and you'll see that as we move through these products. Next up here, a great pair of hybrids here. 4588 is actually a sister hybrid to the 5885. So it's bringing to the table that similar grain quality, excellent drought tolerance. Its ability to move west is very good. But like that 2482, this is another hybrid that is actually a modified. So it actually has a three-way cross. So it has a better rate of emergence and early vigor. It maintains its height better as it moves south out of zone. This is another hybrid that I'm very comfortable planting in that 95 to 100-day corn country, even down here as we approach southern Minnesota or central or southern Wisconsin. Is well fitted for those areas. And we have a really good history with this hybrid, and it's been around for a few years and has always done well for us. So when I think of these two here, comparing to 5289, what that one brings to the table is just tremendous overall yield potential, especially if you get it into more medium to heavier soils with better fertility, moving east out of those dryland acres. The 5289 really stands up extremely well in terms of yield in those environments over the 4588. So if you want to compare and contrast these two hybrids, you have one with the 88 day that's a little better drought tolerance, a little better western movement or lighter soil play, whereas the 5289 is going to be more of your get out onto better soils, well drained, and really push out a lot of yield on good environments.
Thanks, Jake. Would you say, is it true to say that 4588 is also going to be a much better silage option than the 5289?
Yes, I would. That
Okay.
modified female really helps, improve that late season health, intactness, and overall plant height as well. So it does give it an advantage as that dual purpose.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw 4588 in Wesley, Iowa, and I just could not believe how good that thing looked in the fall. Because a lot of times you bring early corn that far south, and it just kind of melts down and does not look very good. But that hybrid, it's very nice, healthy, has excellent stay green, and just looked really good in the fall for an 88-day corn. So,
right.
But again, as Jake said, not as much top end yield as the 5289, especially on good dirt.
Yeah. And the dry down on it is exceptional as well. Compared to its sister, the 5885, they're only a couple of tenths of a point of moisture off from each other. So, if you're looking for that southern movement early option, the 4588 is going to be a little bit better, and you're not giving up a lot of dry down with those extra few days of maturity.
Perfect.
Next up is another great pair of hybrids, starting off with a brand new 4890, had a 90-day. This hybrid really jumped out and impressed me last year in 2024 in trials. It brought a lot of yield to the table. It liked to poke that ear out of that husk and really had good dry down. Excellent ear flex, so you can plant this one at a wide range of populations and know you're still going to pick up some good yield. It really was, for me, a kind of a go anywhere hybrid. I saw this one in parts of North and South Dakota, and in Wisconsin, and this year as far south as Ames, Iowa, and really looking very impressive for a 90-day corn. So the area of adaptation for this one is really next level, I think, at this maturity. I think we're on to a really nice product here to offer out. So when you look at that one as a all around kind of the every acre hybrid, the 6293, which we've had for a number of years, is another one like that 89-day where on that medium to heavier soils with good fertility, really packs a punch in terms of overall yield. Now we've seen that one time and time again. It's got good plant height, good emergence. That early season vigor is excellent on this one. Disease tolerance is very good. The only downside I have on this one is that's that overall drought tolerance in lighter soils, and it does dry fairly slow. And a lot of that comes from the ear flex on it. Likes to flex that kernel depth late season. So in a year like now, when we're getting plenty of moisture, it's really going to struggle to get really dried down. But make no mistake, it matures fast. It just getting those last few percent of moisture off that can be a little slow. Really the only fault I have in that hybrid so far.
Great. Jake, would it be true that both of them could serve as dual purpose hybrids? In my mind, 6293, even though I don't think we have it as a bullet point, actually probably makes a pretty good silage hybrid.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Mac, on that. I think the overall plant health and then just the robustness of the plant itself does lend itself to be a decent silage. And this is just a slide I wanted to point out. This is, again, coming directly from our own internal research and performance data. And as you can see on the map there, we're really getting some good data points across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and this year even out into New York. But I just want to point out that Noon 4890 hybrid, it's really bringing a lot of yield to the table compared to one of our Viking conventional mainstays here, and even against some of the best competitor hybrids out there as well. You can see there it's keeping up, it's dry, it's got great test weight. So we're doing the research, we're putting in the time and effort to making sure that we're bringing really astounding and stellar hybrids to our lineup for you guys.